Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. After an intro like that, I had to wear a t-shirt like this. Welcome today to my review of Darth Seiko. Or should that be the most recent Darth Seiko? It seems that every time Seiko releases a PVD black watch, idiots like me immediately start making Star Wars references. The watch on my wrist today is the Seiko Prospex Black Series Speed Timer SSC-923P. Now this is my third encounter with the Seiko Speed Timer series of watches. I reviewed the 41 when it first came out, then I looked at the smaller 39, but they were both on loan. This one popped up for a great price online a couple of weeks ago through Australia's leading watch retailer, but I didn't buy it. However, somebody else did and I got it on a catch and release for $50 off via a Facebook group, and here we are. Look, it's not perfect. However, I think it does one thing better than just about any other Seiko I've ever seen. Let's flip the camera and find out what that is. Well, what do you know? Here we are again, yet another white Seiko box. Although the contents of this one may surprise you because it's a slightly off-colour mottled grey Seiko box rather than the usual white one. I guess that may vary slightly depending on where you buy this one. Talking of which, the warranty will vary depending on where you buy it from. You can get a full 5-year warranty if you buy it from the Seiko boutique, but you'll be paying 1,100 Australian dollars for the privilege if you do, whereas you can buy it from an authorised dealer here in Australia for 500 Aussie. But like I said, mine was a catch and release, so I got it for 10% off that effectively. Warranty, e-warranty, fully transferable, and there you go. Darth Seiko. So as discussed, this is the SSC-923P1 with a caliber V192 in its rear. So what Seiko themselves refer to as the Go Large version, the Go Large case version of the Speed Timer reissue has been out for coming up to 2 years now. This Black Series version a little less than that, but essentially the two watches are the same, therefore the dimensions are the same. Now I measure this one at 41.3mm in diameter, 13.2mm thick, but Seiko doing what Seiko do best, short lug to lug, 45.5. Then Seiko decided to do what most Japanese brands do worst, 21mm lug width. Why, Seiko? Why give us an awkward lug width? Thanks for nothing. As supplied on this canvas and calf strap, I'll show you that in just a minute, it weighs 91 grams. Water resistance 100 meters. I'm going to call this domed sapphire crystal. Check that distortion. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it was single, I wouldn't necessarily say it was double, so I'm just going to call it domed. The movement in the back, also as discussed, V192 caliber. Screw-on stainless steel case back that is as black as the rest of the watches, advertising a few of its key features including the crystal and water resistance rating. So what does the V192 do then? Well, it is a solar quartz movement if you weren't aware. You can see the kind of slightly purple hue to those 3 sub-registers. The photovoltaic cells that charge the battery are behind those sub-registers. You'll see them in a bit more detail in some macro in just a second or two. 3 registers, that is the 24-hour complication. Everybody loves a 24-hour subdial at the 3 o'clock. It is the chronograph, a 60-minute chronograph register at the 6 o'clock, which is currently informing us of the battery charge level, pointing at F, and we have a ticking small second register over there at the 9 o'clock. One push of the top pusher brings it into chrono mode and starts the chrono timer. You can stop that, you can restart it, you can stop it again. Bottom pusher to reset, and it's a slow reset. If you press the bottom pusher again, it brings it back into time mode, hence the battery indicator level there. 6 months charge when fully charged if you don't use it for more than an hour a day, plus or minus 15 seconds per month accuracy, and it does have a low charge indicator in addition to that one. The second hand will tick once every 2 seconds if you're really on empty. The PVD black case has just got a little bit of a coppery gunmetal hue to it. I do quite like it. and I think it goes fabulously well with the lume and with those indices. Perhaps you've already guessed the star feature that I was alluding to in the intro. I reckon the lume on this Darth Seiko, Darth speed timer, is as good as the lume on just about any other Seiko that I've seen. They've even gone to the trouble of PVD coating the pushers and the crown today. They haven't gone to the trouble of signing the crown today though, as usual. And the canvas and calf band is alright. I've only had this one a week or so, and the previous owner didn't have it more than a couple of hours apparently. It's going to take some breaking in. I've worn it overnight a couple of times, but really, you need to get a bit of sweat into these. You need to really loosen them up with time to break them in, to make them fully comfortable. One thing that will be appearing in the moans and niggles section later on is the lack of holes. This isn't really designed for more than about a 7¼ inch wrist, by the way. Double retainers, Seiko deployant, it's the kind of back to front deployant that they insist on using. At least again, it all has been PVD coated with that slight gunmetal hue to it also. Dial and hands, and I will chuck in a little bit of macro here as appropriate. I think these speed timers are really good looking watches. It's quite a thick tachymeter scaled bezel, but there's still plenty of room to breathe on the dial, plenty of dead space because the sub-registers aren't enormous, and yet because of the colour contrast they've used, kind of blackish purple background, all white printing today, you can still read them reasonably from arm's length, and I love what they've done with the lume. It is lume bright, I believe, but it's a little deeper, a little richer today, a little darker green in colour. Those indices are applied all the way around, as is the Seiko logo, but not the Prospex X. And the indices and the hands are all in a delicious shade of gunmetal black as well. I've looked at this one under my 2X macro, I've looked at this one under a loop, and I can't really fault it, which is not something you can often say of affordable Seikos. So whichever factory is assembling these ones is a good one. You can see what I mean though about that purple look to the sub-registers. I don't think Seiko hide their photovoltaic cells quite as well as Citizen do on their solar models. Go on Jody, show us the lume then if it's that good. Well, here is the watch on its own. It's one of these watches that perhaps is a little bit deceptive. If you actually have it on wrist, anecdotally, it almost looks like they are tritium tubes. Believe me, I've been wearing this one after dark 24/7 for most of this week, and I would swear it had tritium, at least for the first couple of hours. Anyway, if I turn the speed up on it, I always reckon this 20-minute test is about 4 to 5 hours of human eye equivalent. You can see what I mean. It holds its own initially, it does begin to fade towards the end of the test, but everything's still legible. It's really good. Now, I didn't have time for a full lume wars, but here it is with 3 randomly selected Seikos from my personal collection. SKX on the left, then Darth, then the SRPE, the Dress KX, and then Arnie on the right. Arnie obviously from the Prospex range as well, probably its biggest competitor here. When I turn the speed up, you can see that the SKX, as beloved as it is, it's old, it's outdated, the lume simply doesn't last as long as even the SRPE, but the SRPE fades soon enough after, leaving the 2 Prospex medals to duke it out for the crown today. Now I'll slow it down at the end of the test, you tell me, I reckon the Darth speed timer whips Arnie's ass. On wrist, the strap is beginning to conform to my wrist, but yeah, it will probably need another few weeks, if not another few months of wear before it truly becomes at one with my body. A little bit top heavy perhaps because there is no weight at all really in that deploying class today. 13 is not bad in terms of thickness, but 45.5 lug to lug is great. Really, it becomes a matter of choice then for you. There are 2 different sizes of these. No problem at all buying the bigger size, this being the bigger size, even if you have a smaller than average wrist, because it's going to wear sweetly because of that super compact lug to lug. And overhead legibility is excellent, I think, thanks to their choice of lume. The lume really has made this entire watch. I like these kind of blacked out PVD DLC style watches. I've got a couple in my collection and kind of always have. Sometimes though, legibility can be a real letdown because they choose stealth over legibility. Seiko have managed to do both with this particular Dark series, thanks to the choice of that green lume on the indices and on the hands. Alright, moans and niggles, well I've covered a couple of them already over the course of the video. The strap definitely has a lengthy breaking in period, and if you do want to circumvent it by dumping it and putting something else on in its place, 21mm lug width mean that's not going to be as easy. This would be great on one of those Barton silicones. It would really kind of suit the overall watch, a nice kind of black and green one perhaps, but you're going to have to order one specifically unless you have a bunch of other 21mm lug width straps in the house. Date complication. Where is the date complication? It's there somewhere, but you know, I'll be buggered if I can find it. It's a really small aperture, it's deeply recessed, and it's also not all that legible because of the chosen colour version. And like I said, not a lot of holes here. This is the larger of the two speed timers, but really they're knocking out anybody over 7¼ 7½ inch wrist wearing it on the standard strap. I'm on the third from last hole, I'm on the second from last hole at night time. If I really want to wear it tight to my wrist, I'm on the fourth from last hole, but yeah, that's not much space even for me, and I've only got an average size wrist. But despite that relatively small list of complaints, I really like this one, particularly as I paid $450 for it rather than $1150. So many of Seiko's new releases kind of bore me these days. They're reissues of old stuff, they're kind of minutiae variations, they're special editions that aren't all that special. I reckon this one is a little bit special, thanks in no small part to that awesome loom. So there you have it. Don't pay retail. Don't even pay half retail. But if you like the look and you can find one for around the price I paid, or perhaps even less, why not? Do be warned though, this one is not aimed at people with over 7½ inch wrists, or at least not on the standard strap anyway. Well done for making it all the way to the end of the video. Or did you skip to the end? You can be honest, I won't judge you. While you're here, why not check out my original review of the 41 or the 39. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you again in the next one.